All right, good morning, everybody. This is Brian Stickney, and today is Friday, August 23rd. We're here for Forex Live, and as always, we'll be utilizing our daily regimen for live trading and showing how we apply that under live market conditions. So I'm going to go ahead and pause for just a moment. We'll get this disclaimer out of the way. Make sure everyone knows that unique experiences and past performances do not guarantee future result. I think, we're all adults. We know that there are no guarantees in life, and ultimately trading involves risk. But I'm going to pause for just a moment to give you a chance to read through that, and then we'll get started with our trading day. That should be long enough. I think we're good there. All righty. So what are we doing today? Let me pop over. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to be utilizing our daily trading regimen. And I'll be walking through this, just basically filling one of these out. I keep paper logs of all this. Journaling, logging, very important piece of trading, just as important as your patience and discipline. So this helps us accomplish both of those. For those of you that are new to the 21st century, you know that we use this daily trading regimen all the time. Forex Joe put this together for us. It's a checklist that ensures that we follow the exact same method every time we plan to enter a trade, and helps us keep our finger off the button until we look at all the important pieces of the market. And then lastly, it serves as a journal for us so that we can log what we're doing and why we're doing it, which is very important. And again, doesn't mean that you're going to win every trade using that. It just simply means that you're capturing the right information so that you can enter the trade or enter the market appropriately. And a lot of times we do things kind of impulsive. It's human nature to be a little bit impulsive at times. As a matter of fact, I have a confession to make this morning. I was a little bit impulsive, and we'll get to it here in a second. I did my homework on the daily regimen and parked a trade up here in my live account, and which was great. But then I got impulsive and I entered a trade down here that went against me 7 pips as it came back up to this level. So impulsiveness is definitely the killer of accounts. I mean, ultimately, I took that short from here anyway, and made my pips. I hate to say back because we don't want to have a revenge trade, but it was the right trade. So impulsiveness can be a bad thing. That's what typically leads us to blowing accounts. And as often as I follow this trading plan, I don't know what got into me this Friday morning. I got a little itch and little trigger finger itch, and pulled the trigger on an impulsive move after I'd already done my homework. So just it happens, and we have to recognize we're going to do that as human nature. And and as I've always said with Forex Live, I'll tell you the good, bad, and the ugly. And ultimately, I made a mistake this morning, and I think it's important I get that out to everybody because we're not infallible. We're going to do that. So, but we want to follow this, and when we follow this, it gives us the greatest chance for success. And that's what we're going to be doing today is filling out our form as we do always, looking at all the key information, the key levels, and then placing trades accordingly. And it doesn't mean we're going to necessarily win. It just means that we've done our homework. And sometimes you can do everything right and still have a losing trade, but that's okay. Losing trades are part of it. And as we recognize that and don't get into the trap of quote, trying to make it back or revenge trading or any of those deadly pieces, we can be successful over time. That's what we've shown here. So let's go ahead and get into it. I'm going to close this down, and we're going to start over here with the Euro USD. And we're going to, first thing we're going to do is we're going to record our current price. And hopefully, I don't know if you guys are, hopefully you're watching the recap videos, because every class I've been putting together recaps. You've actually pulled some nice pips over the course of this week. And so hopefully you're seeing the recap videos if you're missing this class or just have questions about what we're doing or how it plays out. It's been going pretty darn well. So anyway, current price 33.49. 33.49. I might need glasses. I'm having to squint to see that today. That's weird. Lots of things are off this Friday for me. It's weird. I've never noticed I had to squint to look at that number. So what are we going to do? First thing we're going to capture here is channel information. So we know what our current price is. Now we're going to pop over to our daily report that Forex Show puts out every day, and this is across 22 currency pairs. And it shows us a lot of very key information that we need to keep in mind when we're trading. But the first thing here is we're going to look here at the top, and this is our channel, and we're concerned first with our daily channel. And our daily channel is this compressed channel or short-term channel. It shows us that we have a channel bottom at 33.29. That's a number that we've heard over and over and over and over and over for about the past 3 or 4 weeks now. And that we have a channel top of 33.65. So top at 33.65 and a bottom at 33.29. Now, as you're looking at this, your eyes are going to notice that these numbers are the same across the midterm and long-term channels as well, the weekly and monthly channels. 33.29, 33.29, 33.29. That is telling us we've got a 3 of 3 channel, and that is a very, very strong level of support for us. So let's just keep that in mind. 33.29 is a 3 of 3 channel. And we'll get to that in just a second and talk about it. So, but keep that number handy for you, 33.29. In fact, we took some nice trades off of that yesterday. I know we didn't have a live class, but I did put out a recap just to show what we're doing with those key levels. So then next up, support and resistance. So we've captured our channel. Now we need to know where are we currently trading and what's the support and resistance levels that are near us. We've got 33.49. That's where we currently are. So we have support below us here at 33.35. And if we break through that, then we've got 33.27 is our next level down, which is also right there at 33.29. I would favor 33.29 over that because it's such a key level for us. To the upside, where we've got resistance above us at 33.67. And then if we break through that, we've got 33.74. So that channel top, 33.65, 33.67 area, strong level. We're seeing it as our support and resistance as well. And if we break through that, 33.74, and then of course from there, we've got that whole number, 3,400, 3,404, which is a big psychological level that we'll want to keep an eye on. All right, so we've captured our support and resistance information. Next up is we want to find out what's happening in the actual marketplace. Are we trending or are we oscillating? And right now we have a look here, and I think our eyes would tell us we're definitely oscillating on this Euro USD today. Have we broken through a channel top or a channel bottom? Have we broken through 33.65, or have we broken below 33.29? And the answer there is no. We did pierce this 33.65. We pierced it, but we could not break above. Broke above here, closed above, and then rejected immediately. So we haven't had any breaks with confirmation of direction at all. And but we have pierced the channel top. But it's not actually, we haven't confirmed that break. Next up, average daily range. What's happening here with our ADR? This is another telltale part of what's happening, as far as trending or oscillating markets. And today's range is about 35 pips. We've moved, actually 36 pips, 35.9. So 36 pips we've moved today, and that's pretty darn tight. We know that our average range, if we look out, towards the short term, we're got 80 pips here, and then if we look to that 130-day, we're about 104. So we're somewhere between 80 and 100 pips for the range on this Euro USD. We've only moved 35. There's a lot of room left for us to find some trades. The next thing we're going to have a look at here is news. What news is occurring, and is there anything coming up in the next few minutes that we should be overly concerned about? So we're going to pop over to Forex Factory, and Forex Factory, great little site for us to find news and scheduled, planned news events. Nice site for us to have a look at here. So what news is coming up? Let's refresh this. So we had a little bit of news here. So what news is coming up though? We got a couple of things. Jackson Hole Symposium. It's listed as medium impact, but there could be some news bites or tweets, headlines, things that could potentially come out of that. That could be a driver for us. We've also got new home sales here in about 50 minutes. So new home sales here at 10 o'clock Eastern. It's a red report. This is the one that we're really concerned about. So when we're looking at this Forex factory page to find out what scheduled announcements are coming up, we're concerned about these that have the red factories on them. And that's just simply because these have the highest potential to be a catalyst for market movements. We're not saying that's necessarily the actual driver, but it can be a catalyst behind, when markets are timed to move. So you want to keep an eye on that because, if it's 950 and you're looking at what could be a really good short or a really good long, you may not want to take it because you've got news coming up in 10 minutes that could totally change the direction of what you're looking at. So sometimes it's better just to sit on the sidelines and wait for that news to occur, get a confirmation of direction, and then enter your trade. So that's why we're looking at this. So anyway, we do have news. So my little checklist here, I'm going to write yes, we do have news coming up at 10 o'clock Eastern, which is about 50 minutes from now. And then the last thing that we want to check on before we actually place a trade is what's happening in our futures market and where are we currently trading. We were talking about 15,000 as being a major level in the last few classes. So the Dow is still trading below that, and yesterday it actually it was below, and yesterday it pushed up to try to make a retest, never quite got there. Today it pushed again towards it during electronic trading, and it's been tailoring back. It's back to even right now, and we'll see where that happens. We've actually got the floor traders come on full strength here, in about 15 minutes or so. So, we'll keep an eye here. But right now, for the day, we're concerned. We want to see, what's the Dow doing, what's crude doing, what are gold and silver doing, because these should be an indicator of what the overall market sentiment is. And right now, slight lean to the positive side for futures. If we get a positive futures market, typically we're going to have a negative dollar. And that's simply because as money flows into the Dow, into crude, into gold and silver, it'll begin flowing out of the dollar. And then conversely, if you see money flowing out of the Dow, out of crude, out of gold and silver, it flows into the dollar. So as we cash out positions here, we're holding them liquid here. And then as we're taking positions here, we're pulling them out of here into these other positions. So that's why you see that negative correlation. Now, sometimes you'll see the Dow positive, gold, crude, silver all positive, and you'll see the dollar positive as well. That can be a day that you might want to consider sitting on the sidelines, because there's what should be happening isn't matching up, so it's a kind of a anomaly, and you might want to just be very careful when that's occurring, because one of them is going to pop at some point or other during that trading day. So just keep that in mind. Today, though, everything's pretty level. Dow is back to even. Actually, just popped up 5 points while we were talking here. Dow's back to even, crude's back to even, gold and silver are even, and the dollar is pretty much even as well. So, but slight, if you look down here at this heads-up graph, or a slight sentiment towards the upside, which might indicate a weaker dollar, but we'll just that remains to be seen. So we've gathered all of our information. We have where price currently is trading. Channel information, support resistance levels. We know if we're trending or oscillating, what our range is, so that we're not trying to buy at the top or sell at the bottom. We know if there is news coming up, and we know what the futures market's doing. So with that said, we can now pop over to our charts, and we can place some trades. And this really just took a move for us here towards a positive dollar. So let's see what we're doing here. Let's put some lines on the chart and kind of understand what we're working with, and then from here we can take some trades. So first thing we have is our channel top at 33.65. Whether you have thermal grids or not is kind of irrelevant. You can using that daily report, you can put the numbers, you can put your lines in the chart. Thermal grids just make it easy to see, kind of as a heads up display. So we have our channel top at 33.65, and we have a channel bottom down here at 33.29. 33.29 is a 3 of 3 channel. So just depending on what you're doing, you might want to color code that. If you're going to keep this line on your chart for a long term, you might want to change that to a a yellow or a red or some color that's just going to call attention to the fact that this is a big level for us. It's a key channel. So we've got this one down here, 33.29. I certainly would not be surprised if we push down and at least tested this again for the day. So 33.29. What else do we have? We've got our support resistance levels that we were looking at as we were trading up here. We have support and resistance. We're showing 33.35 and 33.29. So 33.35 right here. Can't make that up, as Forex Joe would say. Where it came right exactly to that that support level, and has reversed right now. Yeah, I still think it'll push down a little bit further, but what I think is not always relevant. And then above us we've got 33.67, which is right up here. Get this go-to meeting out of the way so I can. Oh, what am I saying? Obviously, it's right there. Man, I tell you, I'm kind of goofy this morning. I don't know what's going on. All right, so we've got our support resistance levels on. So we've got our support here, resistance here, big channel down here. In fact, we could color code that another color. And then what we also want to do is take this a little step further, and Forex Show tells us we need to compress the channel. So we have this report that comes out overnight, or prior to the session beginning. This report's produced out here prior to the session beginning. So oftentimes during the session you'll have new levels of resistance or support that are setting up on an intraday basis. So the next thing that we could look at here is to see, wow, where is our other support level or resistance level? So if we compress this channel quite a bit, what we actually see is right through here at this 33.50 area, 33.49, we see another level. And we see that this was a level of overnight. It was support yesterday as the U.S. session was through. Broke it, it became resistance through Asia. Broke it again, it was support. Now it's broken, and this could potentially set up as resistance. So what we could see here is a nice little channel with potential sell and buy opportunities for us. So today is Friday. It's definitely a thinner market, so you're going to see more opportunity for whip. We've only moved 35 pips, 37 pips now. We may see some push one way or the other. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go here and I'm going to park some trades. And now the trades I park, just again, I think I've mentioned this most of my classes. I mean, I've mentioned it in one or two of the classes this week. But ultimately, when I park a trade, I keep that trade no later than London close. I'm typically done by noon, maybe even a little bit before, because I'm Central Time, so about 11 o'clock I'm done. So, but ultimately we can park these trades. Now, the one caveat here is we do have news coming up in about 40 minutes. So I'm going to park some trades, and if we get into about 15 minutes prior to news and the trades haven't triggered and gotten us in, then I'm going to look to cancel those trades as well, because I don't want to get into whatever whip might occur during that news event. So these are going to be very short-term trades, and then after news we'll come back and we'll reassess where we are, and then we can trade again if we choose to. So ultimately, let's go ahead and place a couple of trades here. We can place a sell off of this resistance level. So what we have is we have a level here that was resistant, was support yesterday, resistance, support again. It's been broken with a huge red candle here, looking for a great spot for to come back and retest for resistance. So we'll park a trade here, keep our stop loss pretty tight, look to take profit fairly quickly as well. I grabbed the wrong one, didn't I? Yeah. So we're going to set this. So our software, if you're unfamiliar with it, allows us to trade in thirds. So we have basically a 3-lot trade with our first lot being peeled off here, take profit 1, second lot peeled off here for take profit 2, and then we'll let our third lot run. And you can do a couple of things with that third lot. You can either trail it, or you can just keep it there because the software moves once your take profit 1 is hit. automatically moves your stop loss to break even +1, and ultimately, protects you on that trade. So, you can, that third lot, you can either trail it, which is what I typically do. I'll trail that stop down. I still like to be out of trades. I know I've been trying to train myself to hold trades longer and longer, but my mindset is still that of an intraday trader. So I typically like to be out of my positions at the end of the day. That a lot of times works for me. I mean, sometimes there's trades that I've closed out and they keep running. I mean, a good one is that yen trade that we took earlier this week off of 97. I closed that one out, took my profit, shut it down at the end of the day. I'm happy with that. But we have another student that left that open, and they're up 200 pips at this point. So it varies. It just depends on what you just have to be comfortable in your trading style and make sure that that's suiting you. I have been working to hold these trades longer, and I've gotten to the point over the past few months where I can actually place a trade and walk away. Go take my kid to gymnastics or go eat breakfast or whatever it might be. And that's been a big step for me because I really typically like to be right on it all the time. So anyway, a little digression there. So we're going to place this trade here off of 33.50. Great spot to look for a potential reversal. And then I'm also going to place a buy, wherever my buy lines went, down here at 33.29. And that's simply because we're a 3 of 3 level. Does that mean that price is going to stop there? Absolute. Whoops. That's no good. Absolutely not. Just because it's a key channel doesn't mean that price is going to stop there. All we're looking for is a little bit of an edge. So we know that because that is a daily, a weekly, and a monthly channel bottom, that we have a higher likelihood of price at least stopping or pausing when it gets to that level. Now, we get a lot of momentum behind it. Today's Friday. There's a lot of things that could occur. We could certainly come to that level and just blow right through it. But that's why we always use a stop loss as well. We're always going to trade with a stop. We're just simply looking for what's going to give us the edge. We know that we're going to be wrong in trading. We can do everything right and still have a losing trade. But we have a high probability of taking profit if we trade off of a key level like that, where price has a tendency to stop or stall. So that's what we're going to set up and do right now. Is we're going to take that key channel at 33.29. Just get this a little bit larger. So we're going to go down here 33.29. We're going to park this buy order. We're going to keep our stop loss pretty darn tight, as I mentioned. We're going to look to take profit quickly. I'm going to take profit at this we identified this 33.35 as a support resistance level. So we're going to take profit at this level of resistance. It's quick. It's about 6 pips, and then we'll stretch our second one out a little bit further up to this 33.42 area, and then from there, if it continues to run, fabulous. If not, that's fine too. So we'll move to buy. So now we have a bracket order on. We've bracketed in here in a very tight channel. We're sitting here looking at what is this, 18 pips for a channel, but that's that's fine. So we've bracketed an order in. We've got a sell here at 33.50, 33.49, and a buy here at 33.29, and just looking for price to oscillate here and get us in prior to the move. Now again, we get here in 15 minutes prior to news, and we have it triggered one of these. I'm going to shut them down, and then we'll come back and look at it again. It's okay to, if you've got time prior to a news event, if you've got some time to at least get your take profit one, it's okay to enter a trade. Don't just totally sit on your hands. But depending on what the news event is, by the way, I mean, there's some news events you might just totally want to sit out and wait, if you're an hour before news. But some news events you can afford to get in there half hour before news and catch a little bit of a move if it's setting up properly, but just make sure that you don't get too tied to that trade. Use a stop loss and make sure that you've got if you're getting closer and closer to news and it hasn't triggered, just shut it down and wait for news, and then go back in after the news has occurred. You've got a result, you've got a direction, you see what the market's doing, and then you can breathe a little bit more and take your time to execute that trade properly. All right, so I'm going to just record what I did here real quickly on my trading log so that I've got it. And why I did it, that's the important thing. All right, so there we go. Next up, pound USD. What's happening over here in the pound? Yeah, we'll go a little bit faster for the pound. We're also going to do the USD JPY, and then we'll call it a day. I don't think Forex Joe is going to be on with us today. He mentioned yesterday he had a call at 1 a.m. With some of the Euro group that he trades with. So he probably was up for a bit with that call and is sleeping. I don't think he'll be on with us today. If he is, great, but I wouldn't expect it. All right, so next up is the pound USD. What are we doing here on the pound USD? That one has been a mover. That has been a mover for us. Pound USD. Current price is 55.44. 55.44 on the current price. What's our channel telling us? So first stop here, pop over, have a look at channel information. Scroll down to the pound USD, and we're able to see we've got a compressed channel or a daily channel down here at 55.22, 55.22 for the channel bottom, and 56.23 for the channel top. No real alignment here that we need to be concerned about. We do have 50.79 as a channel bottom, lining up as a 2 of 3, so midterm and long-term channel bottom, but that's 500 pips away. I don't think we'll be getting there today. Doesn't mean we can't, but I certainly wouldn't expect it. So we've got these 55.22 and 56.23. Support and resistance information. What's this tell us? Well, we're currently trading at 55.44. So what do we have? Well, lo and behold, 55.42 is a support resistance area, so kind of a decision point for us. If we break below that, we're looking at 5,500. A big whole number. That's definitely a great area to look for potential buys and sells. Anytime you get to those whole numbers, big psychological level. If you're trading above it, great spot to look for a quick reversal, a bounce. If you're trading below it and you come to a whole number, again, great spot to look for a reversal or a bounce, back down. So, and if we break back above this, you've got 6,200, 5,600. So again, we're kind of straddled in between two whole numbers that we'd be looking at for our support or our resistance. Are we trending or oscillating for the day? I think we just noticed definitely in a bit of a trend for the day, although it's kind of a whippy motion. But the key here is have we broken the channel? Have we broken? That certainly looks like a lot of a big movement here, but have we broken above 56.23, or have we broken below 55.22? And the answer there is no. We did break above here and close above. It rejected, but we did break and get confirmation of this break. And then I don't know if there was news last night. What drove that? Yeah, there was some news last night. Where am I? Let's get back here. So yeah, so it did break above, and then we had kind of a news driver that pushed us back down. So, but ultimately, these channels have been pretty well respected. This you might have gotten in long here after you broke and got a confirmation here. It was really rejecting off of that, and then with that news, it just pushed on down. So anyway, channel broken. No. Average daily range. What are we doing for ADR? Well, today we've moved 96 pips. So 97 pips, 96.9. So 97 pips we've moved. And our 5-day range, short-term range, 2-day was 98 pips, which is right at where we are. 5-day, 81. If we look out to this longer term, we're about 120 pips. So, really, ultimately, we're somewhere between 100 and 120 pips on this pound USD. So this is telling me we're kind of we're kind of pushing the end of the envelope here. You know, the edge of the envelope is we've moved 100 pips. Well, you know, 97. You can round up 103, which is what's 3 pips. You know, that's an entry maybe. So we're right at 100 pips. It's a Friday. You know, might push to 120. You know, on a good day based on what we've been seeing here. This you might just want to say, okay, I'm you know, we're definitely oscillating. We're range bound. You might look for a buy at the bottom of this channel for potential reversal, just to float back up and kind of take you back to this this 55.80 where we've been sitting. But you know, just based on average daily range and where we are right now, that alone is telling me that we might want to think twice about jumping into a trade on the pound USD. News, we know we do have news coming up here in about half an hour. So, you know, if we do enter a trade here, it'll be one that we just keep for a little while to see if it triggers or not prior to news. If it doesn't, we'll get out of the market, close down our trades, wait for the news, and then pop back in. So, yeah, there is news coming up. And then the last thing we'll have a quick look at here before we actually talk more about placing trades is what's happening here in the futures market. Dow's making a little bit of a push now, which is telling us that we could potentially see some dollar weakness. So we've got a rally in the Dow and S&P, and then gold is still positive, silver's positive, crude's a little bit down right now. We'll see if that turns around or not when we get fully underway. This could just be an opening market rally too. You know, keep in mind your floor traders are just coming online, taking positions. So we'll see what actually occurs here. You want to watch this carefully through the day. And just see what our direction is going to be. Right now, though, there is a slight lean towards a positive futures market, which should indicate a weaker dollar. But you know, right now that's not the case. So just that when it's not correlated the way you would expect it to be, just kind of take a little bit of caution, because that combined with a Friday could cause a little bit of a whip. We've got a thinner market than we would normally have. So slight lean up, but just keep an eye on what's happening here. If this Dow rallies past 15, you're definitely going to see dollar weakness, but we need to let that play out. All right, I shouldn't say definitely. That's a bad term to use. You have a high likelihood of seeing dollar weakness. All right, so anyway, what's up here? We've got a channel top, 56.23. Let's throw that on up here, 56.23, 22.6, close enough. We've got a channel bottom at 55.22. It's not even on the chart. It's 55.22 for our bottom, right down here. And then where are we? We've got 55.40, which is kind of where we're sitting right now. Just get this out of the way. So we've got a resistance level, support level right here, 55.42, which is right here. And then obviously above us and below us, you've got those whole numbers. So kind of where we break from here, we might come back to retest this 5,600. Well, scroll that down just a little bit, 5,600 or 5,500 on the low side, which is way down here. So for me, I'm not going to place a trade right now. I'm going to wait for news to occur and see what happens. I mean, this could very easily bounce and whip back up, depending on what our news is. I mean, we're definitely seeing our futures market set up, and we really want to watch that 15,000 area and see what's really going to happen there, if we're going to see a rally, a Friday rally, you know, or not. So let's just keep that in mind. Right now, what I would do, let's compress our channel a little bit too. So, you know, we have the numbers that we've put on here that are based on Forex Show's report. If we didn't have news coming up, I would really be looking here at the 55.22 for a buy opportunity. And the reason I would be looking at if we didn't have news coming up, just as a quick education piece, if we look top to bottom, that's about 112, 113 pips. That fits in very well with what our top of our range normally is. So if this were to news day, this is just a regular trading day, right? If we didn't have news coming up in a few minutes, I would say, okay, we've had this huge move, but I'm going to park a buy down here, and I would look to take profit quickly, but it would have a higher likelihood of coming down to that level. It's a key support resistance level. It's right at the end of a range, and be a great spot to look for a reversal, because typically what we see price do, we saw it yesterday, just as a good example, we saw price move up, hit kind of a top of a range, and then it just kind of puttered out, and it'll kind of retrace back a little bit as the day goes on. So this would be a perfect opportunity for that. But we want to wait. If news happens, if it's kind of a non-event, I may still look at this area for a reversal. But I'm going to wait for news on that if I even trade this pound at all. This may be a pair I just stay away from. But just looking at key areas right now, this would be one to watch. This 55.22 would be one to watch post news, just to see what happens here for a potential reversal point. I mean, you might have some news that it might just push down and then struggle right there for a little bit, and then if it's kind of a non-event, just reverse back up. It may, depending on what the news is, it may push down just to get some fills and then whip all the way back up to here. So we just want to keep an eye on what's happening. Potential sell opportunity would be right along here. I love when we break below this Asia low, Asia high as well, but in this case we're talking about a downward trend. When you've got an Asia low, a lot of times you'll see price come back and retest this Asia low before it moves back down again too. So depending on what news is, and also compressing that channel, I'd be watching 55.22 and 55.75 for potential areas for buys and sells. But again, that depends on what news is. I'm not going to park an order here because I just feel like we're a little bit too close to news to do it, as well as the fact that I think the pound's kind of done for the day unless there's a huge catalyst with what our homes report is, and we get a rally in the futures market. So we'll keep that one. All right, and then the last one we've got here is the USD JPY. Again, very range bound, as we can see for the day. Currently, the US yen is trading at, I'll get this out of the way, 99.04, right there at 9,900. So USD JPY current price 99.04. Channel information on this one. Channel tells us we've got a top at 99.34 and a bottom at 98.13. I'm going to go a little bit faster here because we've gone through this a couple of times. Again, once you get this down, you can knock out your research in about 15-20 minutes tops. You're going to go through this very quickly on your own. It just takes a little bit longer as I talk through and explain it. Support resistance levels 99.04. Well, we've got 98.79 down here below us, followed by 98.13, which is our channel bottom. And then above us, we have 98.34, which that number sounds familiar. It's our channel top. And then if we break above that, 99.87. I'm surprised we didn't see 99.67 because this is a key level here. It's a 2 of 3 channel. We're seeing that on a midterm and long-term level. 99.67 on the U.S. yen has been a reversal point a number of times for us this year. So if price moved to that level, I would certainly be looking to sell off of 99.67 the first time. Take profit quickly, and then if it breaks above, that's fine. But based on historical performance, great spot to look for potential reversals. Based on what we've seen and the strength of this level. Does it mean it's going to stop there? Absolutely not. But it has a higher probability, and that's all we can really work with in trading. We want to just stack the deck in our favor so that we have the highest probability for a win. So we've got 99.67 up there just as a number for your back pocket. And let's go ahead and pop over here for the remainder of this. And what do we have? Well, are we trending or are we oscillating for the day? I think we would all agree that we're oscillating on this US yen. Has the channel been broken? Have we broken above our 99.34 or below 98.13? The answer to both of those questions is no, we have not. We've been trapped in a 50 pip channel for the day, 48 pips, and our average range, is somewhere between 85 and 120 pips. 85 in the short term, 120 we had some big moves here, and but just drawing this, so it may be better to say 85 to 100, but you just know that we've got that 120 out there. So right now during the summertime session, 85 to 100 pips, and we're currently about half of that. So there's definitely some opportunity for movement here, and what I'd be looking at, let's just and we're coming up about 20 minutes to news, so I think we're just going to wait at this point. It may be I don't know that we have enough time to get a move in to get us any pips prior to news, so I'm gonna wait on placing these, but I am gonna draw the levels that we'll have a look at. So let's just put this on the board. 99.34, we have our channel top up here, and then 98.13 is our channel bottom, which is right down here. So that's our top and our bottom. Now we have to compress that channel a little bit, and we see 98.79 as a support level right down here, and we see 99.34, which is up there. We actually, if we compress this a little bit more, we see our price really struggling here at this 9900 area, which is not surprising. So we got 9900 up here. So what would we be looking at? Well, we want to wait for news to occur, but 9900, watch this. If this weren't a news day, I'd be parking a sell here. If we didn't have news coming up in about 15 minutes, this would be a sell point, and this would be a buy point right here. But with news coming up, I'm gonna wait, and I'm just gonna take note of these levels. What we'd want to watch here is if we have news and it is a driver, we'd want to wait and watch for a break of 9900, get a confirmation, and then we'd buy 9900. And down here, again, depending on what the news is, if we really push through and we break through this level, then we would look to sell off of 99.78, 99.79 area, and take that back down. But we really need to wait at this point. We're about 15 minutes to news, so I don't know that we have enough time to actually grab pips prior to news. So, same with that Euro trade I put on earlier, I'm going to cancel it, and we'll just take that one off the books until news occurs, because last thing we want to do is get into a trade here that, and I'm just going to go ahead and cancel this out real quickly, kill that trade. We don't want to get into a trade here and have that lock us into something with news that's pending. I was hoping that this might have triggered prior to news and gotten us into at least that take profit one, with about 10-15 minutes to go. But if there's not enough time for that to occur, I just take it off and we come back and we watch it after the news announcement actually happens. So that's what we're going to do here on the US yen. We're going to watch 9900 and just have to see what happens. Are we going to break? If we break it, let's wait for confirmation. It all really kind of depends on what our news, what the news comes out as, and then we're going to take those trades based on that. And so we'll watch 9900 and 98.78 for our potential buys and sells after news. So just again, wait for news to occur. Watch what the result is. Watch how the futures market's reacting to it, and then wait for a break and confirmation. And then once you get confirmation of that direction, you can enter your buy or your sell. So that's what we're going to do for the day. And the same levels on this Euro trade, these same levels still apply. We're just going to wait for news to occur, and it'll play a little bit differently. If news is favorable for a stronger dollar, then we'll just look to maybe break this area down here. If we break back below 33.29, we're going to sell that. And then same here, if the news is showing a dollar weakness, which is kind of where the market's leaning right now, if we break above here, we want a confirmation, and we'll come back and we'll buy off of this level. So you know, just still the same levels apply. We just need to see what happens and then you know, adjust our plan accordingly. So that is it for me for the day, and I'll obviously record a recap at the end of the day just to show you what happened under live trading and how we did. A lot of times we're able to get some tips in the class, but you know, we're here for an hour, so it doesn't always give us that opportunity, but you know, we've had nice success with our trades this week, getting us some pips, so you guys can always see those in the recaps that we put out. And we'll go ahead and wrap it up, and we will see you guys next time. So have a great one. Thanks for being with me. I really appreciate you taking time out of your morning, your maybe even your evening, depending on where in the world you might be, to spend some time with me this morning and see how we're doing things here utilizing Forex Joe's methodology. So you guys have a great day, have a great weekend, trade safe, and we will see you soon. Have a great one. Bye.